I would definitely say that was probably my best outing of my career here.
Going on the road, having that type of performance, how did it feel?
Oh, it was great. I think it was really cool. I think Paul set the standard early. The day before he came in, did his thing and stuff. But I think that also had set the tone for what I needed to do that day. We've been speaking on it for the past couple of weeks, what we need to do to be successful. And luckily, all three of us pitchers this week executed that plan.
Just you guys as starters, I mean, just going that deep into each of your outings, just really saved the bullpen there for that final game. Just how much does that weigh on your guys' minds when you're on the mound, just knowing that you can get through something like that and get deeper into a game?
I mean, I wouldn't say we think about it. I think it's something that's just like we expect it. So it's like as a starter in any league, I think 5 innings is the minimum you're supposed to go. So that's just like the minimum that we think about. But we know that some days we're not going to have our best and some days we're going to be on. But like the days we don't have our best, we know that we have a large bullpen in the backside of us to help us out.
What would you say is the biggest difference between you at the end of last season and you now, like the mid-season here?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple cues from mechanical stuff that I fixed, but also I think it was a big time thing for me was the mindset start of it. I think it was just having that ultimate confidence in myself, knowing that I'm able to get all these hitters out that I'm facing.
Jay was saying, beginning of the year put you in kind of this reliever role, and then you made your way back into the starting rotation. What did that conversation look like, and did you see yourself working your way back into the rotation?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things there was about like we had some injuries happen and stuff, and I know that I've been here with him in the past, so I think he thinks that he could trust me. I felt like so I think that's one of the reasons why I was in the bullpen late in the year, but also I think I was able to get back in the role and work myself back in there because we had a couple guys in the bullpen that worked their ways up, so Coach Jay can trust them better.
Is there any difference this year in the sense that you give them a couple runs early, you feel like y'all going to get them back because of your offense? Like, we're going to score, not just keep it limited. We're going to score.
Oh yeah, it's crazy because of course we don't like giving up runs, but we know it's part of it, especially at starter. It's hard to go hitless or scoreless whenever you're pitching and starting. But knowing that you have the offense behind me like I do, it's incredible. Knowing that if I give 1 or 2 runs up, I know our offense is going to come back and score right back.
I think kind of hit me last week. Like, there's a lot of talk about you and Christian and any other starter, maybe struggling or whatever kind of thing. But then I think the problem is everybody's comparing it to Paul, and like this unrealistic, expectations. It's true of the whole team, right? Everybody expects you to win every game you're in this year just because of the talent.
Yeah.
Just as a pitcher on this staff and having that be the standard, right, that you are held to, how do you rationalize that in your mind, I guess, to have your performances not have to live up to his performances?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just trusting myself. I mean, of course we want to be like Paul. I think everybody wants to be like Paul. Everybody should want to be like Paul. He's pretty good, but knowing what I'm good at and knowing that, Paul still gives up runs sometimes, and he's also giving up hits. I know that. Same for me and Christian. So, just knowing that in the back of our mind and just trusting our process and executing pitches and stuff. And at the end of the day, hopefully we'll get our whatever we want off the mound that day.
What's good for you is good for you. It's not necessarily
Exactly. Yes, sir.
You mentioned some of the mechanical things. Is that something you can expand on a little bit in terms of just how big of a difference you've seen in your game from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things was just the breaking balls and stuff. I think that was something just like a couple pitch grips and maybe a little bit in my lower half when I'm pitching and stuff. Just because I can get really in depth, but it gets really analytical in this. But it's a lot of video went into it and a lot of readings that Coach West did for us this fall that really helped me progress this season.
What the job Alex has done back there. Last year he was on the show for a lot of time. Just kind of see a guy come in, play his role to perfection, move the ball, things like that, and then just be a solid, receiver for your back there.
Yeah, he's great. I love Alex back there. He does really well behind the plate a lot. He's really good at blocking, but I think everybody's very scared whenever he's behind the plate from the other team standpoint of running, because I've never seen a catcher with that kind of arm in college baseball. I believe he's got, if not the best college arm out of all catchers I've seen. But trust him a lot. I know he's going to block pitches. I know he's going to get me strikes and stuff whenever he's behind the plate.
You got a lot of feel-good stories like that. Like we're talking about Cade and Gavin, obviously, and Alex. What does it do for the team morale when guys that work hard succeed?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there's so many examples like Gavin, especially. I feel like, and Cade and all these guys have got hurt, but I know Gavin especially because it seems like he couldn't catch a break, one thing after another and stuff. But just knowing how hard he works, he's in the cages every morning and after practice and stuff, and it's like something that you see him working so hard and you know it's going to pay off for him and stuff. But I'm very happy for him with how he's doing and stuff this year, and especially Cage as well, because I know Cage went through a lot with his injuries and stuff, and knowing how well he's hitting for us right now.
You've had 3 pitching coaches in 3 years, right?
Yes, sir.
What does Wes bring to the table that you thought, wow, this is a little bit different?
I mean, a lot. Whew. I mean, I've learned something from all 3 of them. I would say I've learned a lot from all 3, but I think the biggest thing for Wes was the analytical side of the game. I think he's got so much of an advancement of the knowledge of that stuff that he knows how to, like, translate that stuff to us, because a lot of people know how to coach that stuff, but it's like not knowing how to like teach it to us the right way, because I know everybody thinks differently and stuff, and that's what he's done best for me this year. That's probably the biggest thing for me.
You hit the weights since last year a little harder?
Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite thing to do. I mean, we got a new strength coach this year, so he's doing great with us too. He making us gain a little bit of weight and stuff, and just really keeping us healthy and stuff, and trying to make us look better during the summer.
Yeah, Coach said there was a pretty big emphasis. He'd seen Mississippi State last year, saw how big they were and physical, to make the team more physical and stronger, and you've seen that across the board.
Oh, 100%. I think all our guys are looking really big. Some of the guys that aren't playing right now, like we have a bunch of plans for them. Like they might not be playing, but their weightlifting program. I mean, these guys look totally different than what they look like in the fall, and it's like knowing that whenever they come back this fall, whenever they get to playing, they're going to be a huge difference maker for them.
What would be like, I mean, your fastball has obviously been kind of your big pitch, and I just want to know where you learned it and how it's kind of changed over the years.
Oof, that's a good one. I'd say that, so I think the thing about my fastball is I've always thrown it. I mean, in high school, I faced good competition, but it was nothing like college level, so I got away with my fastball a good bit. So I didn't really realize my fastball was that good until I got to college, because yeah, I mean, throwing hard in high school is good, but like when you look at the analytical side of the fastballs, why people don't hit it as well, that's plays another factor. So I think one thing was me always playing infield my whole life. I think I kept it a very short arm angle. That was something that a lot of coaches teach nowadays, and that's the biggest thing I feel like what's helped my fastball be so successful.
What goes into like the spin rate and like making it, move as much as you do?
Well, I mean, there's different things. I think it's like how well you get behind the baseball. So some people get on the side of the baseball, like Paul. Paul gets on the side a little bit. That's why he gets a lot of sink, or whatever you want to call it, a horizontal run. He gets a lot of that. But if you stay more behind the baseball, you get that illusion of the ball rising and stuff. And I feel like that's one of the things that my ball does, and a couple of the other pitchers have the same.
What do you expect to see from this Alabama team?
Well, I remember I know they're a lot better team this year. I know, it's one thing that me and my roommates were talking about the other day, that Alabama is actually a lot better team than some people might be thinking they are. They're scrappy. I think they're a little bit of an older team and stuff. They got really good pitching and stuff. But it'll be a battle like any other SEC weekend is. It's always a same mindset going into it.